Hey guys, welcome to my tiny but cozy kitchen. I wanted to come online today and I guess let you watch me cook. So today I'm going to be making some meatballs. I usually just use what I have in the pantry. So anyway, I'm not a professional chef. However, when I was shopping before the whole panic buying, most people were buying convenience foods, which are fine, but not a lot of people were buying fresh stuff that you could cook or make stretch, and most people just don't know how to cook. So I thought I'd just kind of let you follow me around. So I've got 2 pounds of ground beef. I'm not really sure how lean this is. It came from a cow we had butchered, so it's probably pretty lean. But if I was in the store, I'd usually buy 93.7. And also I eat grain-free, so that means I don't put any breadcrumbs in any of my meatballs or hamburger steaks or hamburgers or meatloaves. So what I do is I put 1 egg per pound and a half. That's just enough to make the meat stick together without making it eggy. These are fresh eggs I bought from my hairdresser Monica. Hey Monica, thanks for the eggs. When I can't get these, I like to use free range eggs that you can find at the grocery store. I like pasture raised. I think they taste better. So the first thing I'm going to do is get my paws all dirty in here, and I am going to mix the meat in with the egg. Get that all coated. I hope you guys are doing well, whether you're quarantined or on lockdown or not. I know a lot of kids are out of school, including mine, right? So we homeschooled for 5 years, and then I went back to school this year, small private school. We love our school and our teachers, so the kids are not exactly happy to be home with me again. And I was forced to close the gym that I own. It's actually a CrossFit box, if you don't know that already. So that was kind of sad. You know, I've been in kind of a little bit of funk without being at my box every day and interacting in person with my members and my coaches, and hearing the music going and the barbells clanking, and and then we just started our youth program, so I'm not seeing my CrossFit preschoolers and my CrossFit kids and my teens, so it's just a little different, and we're only on day 2, so I'm hoping this illness is over pretty soon. Right now my kids are working on essays and literature quizzes, and I'm hoping I don't have to prompt them too much to finish their work today, because we are so excited it's almost the weekend. Okay, so I have my egg mixed in really good with my ground meat. Now I'm going to wash my hands because I have to put the rest of the stuff in. And excuse my views here. I can't quite get my camera to follow me around as well as it usually does today. Now I'm going to put an onion in. So I have already pre-chopped my onion. I just use the white onion. Sometimes use purple onion, just whatever I have. I have this neat little chopper thing from Pampered Chef, and I love to use it for onions. It's actually the manual food processor. My favorite thing to make in this is salsa. I've also made tuna salad, various different things. There we go. And anyway, I'm gonna get some muscle here and just kind of pump it and spin it until it gets to a consistency that I like. I like this little tool because it doesn't pulverize the vegetables. If I wanted to do that, I have a Ninja. And I have been known to hide vegetables in my food from my kids with the Ninja, but on this I just want to dice it really, really fine and then put it in with the ground meat. That's about right. Okay, now, and you'll notice I don't really measure anything, so, you know, oh yeah, you want it to look kind of like that. I'm going to take the blade out. I very much cook just kind of by looking, and I don't hardly ever use a recipe, never really have, so unless you're eating my Mexican casserole, you're probably never going to taste anything that tastes the same every time I do it. I think it adds character. I don't know. Anyway, so far nobody in my house has complained, that's for sure. So I have my onions in, and now I'm gonna add my seasonings. So when I do seasonings, I always use what's in the pantry. So one thing I like to keep is this ranch seasoning. If you don't have it, you can make your own. I just think it gives things a good little wang. It's mainly onion and garlic powder, but right now my garlic powder is caked up, so I decided to go kind of the short route. This also has a little Parmesan cheese in it, so it'll jazz up your food just a little bit. This recipe, or this way of cooking, nothing really has any carbs, so if you're on keto or you're doing a low carb lifestyle because you're diabetic or trying to lose weight or something like that, this is a really good one to use. I'm going to put a little Tony Chachere's in it, just because I have it. You don't have to. By all means, you could use salt and pepper if that's all you have. You know, that's perfectly okay. I'll put a little crushed red pepper just for a little spice, jazz it up. Oh, that was strong. Then after I pour all this in there, I'm going to get my paws dirty and mix the meat up again. And today, my family wanted meatballs in a roux gravy. So when I used to make a roux gravy, back when I ate like a normal person, you know, back before I did, you know, grain-free and low carb, I would always brown flour and oil in a 1-to-3 ratio, and you know, make a roux. Excuse me, y'all, it's allergies, I promise. The pepper got me. I just kind of stirred around until it was a brown caramel color, kind of like sand, and then I'd add some water and kind of go from there. Thick brown gravy, you know. But now that I've changed my eating habits, I've had to come up with other ways. I'm putting some chili powder in there. You don't need to, but I think it adds a little extra flavor. All right, so I've had to come up with some other ways to do a roux. And I tried, you know, arrowroot and almond flour, and nothing was ever the same. I couldn't get the consistency right. And y'all, I do not like using stuff out of the box. However, sometimes, keeping it real. All right, so sometimes you have to, you know, take a little shortcut or find something that works with your dietary guidelines. So the Tony Chachere's instant roux mix, and y'all, I hate to say I use anything instant, but sometimes you just have to give up the ghost. It has 2 grams of carbs, so it does have some wheat flour in it, but it's a lot lower carb than using my flour. So I'm gonna kind of cheat with that, and that's how I'm going to make my gravy. But first I'm going to mix up my my meatballs, and then I'm going to put them in the pan, and I'm going to bake them. I usually bake them at 375, and that way they don't burn on the outside and they get done on the inside. It's okay if they don't get all the way done, because we're going to put them in the crock pot and add gravy. So the inside is going to get done. It's going to take a couple of hours. But when I bake them, I like for the outside to get a little browned so that they don't fall apart in the gravy. So, all right, let's mix up our meatballs. And y'all bear with me. I don't know any of the cool camera tricks to to put words on the screen or anything like that. So if you guys, have any questions, just ask me. This is all an experiment to me. As is, I'll reiterate this way of homeschooling with the school and with the deadlines when we homeschooled back last year and the 4 previous years, we just kind of took it as it went and didn't have deadlines, assignments. I just kind of went through the books, and what we finished, and what we didn't, So this is much different. You'll see a lot of posts like, hey, you're homeschooling now. Traditional homeschoolers will, hey, welcome to the jungle. I mean, I shared that too, but I'm here to tell you it is different, but you can do it. And don't be scared to reach out to your kids' teachers if you're having trouble. All right. So I got that kind of mixed up. And let me tell you guys, you cannot screw this up at all. I mean, it's impossible. I'm going to make a little meatball like that. And I don't really have a fancy measurement for this. I just kind of roll them out. These may end up pretty big. I have been known to make mini meatloafs. My meatballs are huge, but hey, it's all good. If you're feeling real fancy, you can even take some little blocks of cheese or shredded cheese and stuff cheese in it. It's fine. Your family's gonna thank you. I promise you that. Especially if you're making these instead of buying those frozen meatballs. Once you make these, you're going to be like, those are kind of gross. So I'm going to continue rolling these meatballs, and then I'm going to bake them, put them in gravy. And I hope you guys have a fantastic day and that you kind of learned a little bit about how to make meatballs from scratch. Have a good one.